you think improving insulin sensitivity takes months of strict dieting or fasting, you've been told wrong. There are small science-backed habits that can make a difference within days, and most people overlook them completely. I'm Kait, a nutritionist who helps people reverse insulin resistance and get their energy back naturally. And today I'll show you 5 surprisingly simple habits that can help your body respond to insulin better. And the first one might just change how you look at carbs forever. Insulin sensitivity affects everything: your energy, your hormones, your ability to lose fat, and how clear you think. When it's low, your body struggles to move glucose into your cells, so you end up tired, hungry, and storing more fat than you burn. But the good news is, insulin sensitivity isn't fixed. It changes every single day, depending on what you eat, how you sleep, and how you manage stress. That's why these 5 habits can make a noticeable difference quickly, because they target the real cause of poor insulin sensitivity, not just the symptoms. Most people think that carbs are the enemy when it comes to insulin sensitivity, but it's not that simple. The type of carb you eat matters, as well as how it's prepared. When you cook and cool carb-rich foods like potatoes, rice, and oats, some of the starches crystallize into a form your body can't fully break down. That's called resistant starch. It resists digestion, meaning it passes through your small intestine largely intact and feeds the good bacteria in your gut. Those bacteria then produce short-chain fatty acids like butyrate, which directly improves how your cells respond to insulin. You're literally training your body to be more metabolically flexible, using food as a tool. Once that resistant starch forms after cooling, you can reheat it later. That means you can cook your carbs once and get more benefits from them the rest of the week. So here's what that can look like. Make a batch of jasmine rice or baby potatoes on Sunday, store them in the fridge overnight, and then add them to meals throughout the week. If you prefer warm meals, reheat them. Like I said, the resistant starch remains. And this also goes for things like overnight oats and cold potato salad. Blood sugar spikes to these foods will be lower because some of the carbs have been turned into resistant starch. So the key takeaway is this: you don't have to eliminate carbs in order to improve insulin sensitivity. Cook, cool, and eat. It's simple, science-backed, and proven to reduce blood sugar spikes by up to 40%. Your morning routine can either set you up for stable blood sugar all day long, or start a chain reaction that keeps your insulin high until bedtime. Which would you choose? It starts with cortisol, your body's natural wake-up hormone. Cortisol should rise gently when you wake up, but modern life makes it spike too high, too fast. The second you look at your phone, scroll notifications, dive into emails, your brain perceives stress, even if nothing bad has happened yet. That stress triggers more cortisol and adrenaline, which dump glucose into your bloodstream for energy your body doesn't actually need. Over time, this pattern trains your body to become less sensitive to insulin. You might notice it as mid-morning crashes, hunger soon after breakfast, or even feeling anxious before eating. To reverse that, focus on keeping the first 30 minutes of your morning calm and light focused. Instead of phone notifications, start with hydration and sunlight. Drink a large glass of water with electrolytes before you drink your coffee. For some people, caffeine on an empty stomach exaggerates cortisol spikes. Then, get natural light exposure as soon as possible. Step outside and enjoy the sunlight. That light hits sensors in your eye that tells your brain it's daytime, syncing your circadian rhythm and helping regulate cortisol levels throughout the day. When cortisol is balanced, insulin sensitivity improves, energy stabilizes, and your evening melatonin cycle works better, meaning you sleep deeper, which further supports metabolic health. If you only change one habit from this list, make it this one. A calmer morning routine sets up your hormones, your digestion, and your blood sugar for the entire day. One of the biggest mistakes I see when clients come to me is that they're snacking all day long, sometimes without even realizing it. Every bite of food you eat signals insulin to rise, even if it's a healthy food. If insulin never has time to come down between meals, your body stays in storage mode. And when insulin is always high, your fat stores are basically locked away. You can't access them for fuel, which leads to low energy and more cravings. Spacing your meals out about 4 to 5 hours apart gives your body a break from constantly producing insulin. And that downtime, that's when insulin sensitivity improves naturally. Think of it like this: insulin is kind of like a muscle. If you overuse it all day long, it becomes fatigued and less effective. But if you give it time to rest between meals, it responds much better the next time it's needed. Now, you don't need to do long fasts or skip breakfast entirely. 3 balanced meals a day can work perfectly if you get enough protein, if you get enough healthy fat, and if you're smart about your carbs. Many of my clients notice this. Within a week of spacing meals apart, they have steadier energy, fewer sugar cravings, and often start losing belly fat, even without eating less. That's because the body is finally allowed to switch between burning food and burning stored fat. So instead of grazing, aim for full, satisfying meals with longer gaps in between. You'll retrain your hunger hormones and improve insulin sensitivity naturally without feeling deprived. Quick question before we move on. How many times a day do you typically eat? Most people are surprised when they actually count it up. Drop it in the comments down below because I'm curious to know if you are already a 3-meal-a-day person or if you realize that you're snacking a bit more often than you thought. I know this one might sound like torture at first, but this is a small, powerful habit that actually has the potential to rewire your metabolism. When you expose your body to cold water, you activate something known as brown fat. Brown fat's job is to create heat by burning glucose and fatty acids. The more active it is, the more efficiently your body uses blood sugar, meaning better insulin sensitivity. Cold exposure also reduces inflammation and supports fat metabolism. And this works because it's a short, controlled stressor. It trains your body to handle real-life stress better. And that resilience translates directly into better blood sugar control. So here's how to make that doable. You don't need to jump into an ice bath. Just finish your regular shower with 30 seconds of cold water. Breathe deeply, focus on exhaling, and notice how your body adjusts. Over time, aim for up to 60 seconds. And if you can do longer than that, I'm really impressed. If you're consistent, you'll likely notice improved energy, better mood, and stronger focus. All signs that your stress response is normalizing. And remember, chronic stress and inflammation are 2 of the biggest drivers of insulin resistance. So while this habit sounds simple, it targets the root cause directly. Cold exposure also helps activate your mitochondria, the energy-producing parts of your cells. Healthier mitochondria means better glucose utilization, faster recovery, and more stable energy overall. You can think of it like a daily 1-minute metabolic reset. Quick, free, and incredibly effective. Your muscles are the main site where glucose is stored and used. In fact, about 80% of the glucose that enters your bloodstream after eating goes straight into muscle tissue. But this is if your muscles are active and sensitive to insulin. That's why movement is one of the most powerful tools for improving insulin sensitivity. Every time you contract a muscle, it opens tiny channels on the cell's surface. These allow glucose to enter the muscle without even needing insulin. So when you move more, you're not just burning calories. You're making your body less reliant on insulin to control blood sugar. So if you can, start with 2 to 3 full body workouts per week. These don't have to be long, even 30 minutes. Focus on compound movements that use big muscle groups: squats, push-ups, rows, deadlifts, or lunges. And you don't even need heavy weights to get results. Resistance bands, body weight exercises, or even a pair of dumbbells can be enough if you're consistent. Then, between exercises, focus on your NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. That's everything from walking to cleaning to pacing during phone calls. Studies show that even brief activity, like standing for 5 minutes every 30 minutes, improves glucose regulation. The takeaway? Your muscles are your metabolic engine. Think of them like your best long-term insurance policy for better blood sugar control, energy, and healthy aging. And if you start combining these with the other habits that we spoke about, spacing out your meals, cold showers, you create a metabolic environment where your body prefers burning fat instead of storing it. Now, if you're finding this video helpful, make sure you give it a like, and if you can, comment down below. That helps more people to find it. And if you're ready to take your results further, check out my 7-day insulin resistance masterclass in the description box down below. That provides you with a sample meal plan, a shopping list, and a chance to work with me more closely. So if you're still feeling a bit confused, check that out. Let's quickly recap the 5 easy habits that can improve your insulin sensitivity fast. Number 1 is to eat carbs cold to increase resistant starch and lower the blood sugar response. Number 2 is to lower morning cortisol by staying calm and getting early sunlight. Number 3 is to space out your meals to reduce constant insulin spikes. Number 4 is to finish your shower cold to activate brown fat and boost metabolism. And finally, number 5 is to train your muscles. Strength plus daily movement is the best long-term fix besides diet for insulin resistance. Now, you don't have to be perfect with all of them. Start with 1 or 2 this week and build from there. Small, consistent habits are what make the biggest difference over time. It's not about going on a crash diet. That's just setting yourself up for failure. And remember, improving insulin sensitivity isn't just about weight loss. It's about better energy, better hormone balance, and finally feeling like your body is working with you and not against you. Now, we spoke a little bit in this video about how important your morning routine is. So check out this video next to make sure you're not making any of these morning mistakes that are keeping you stuck.